I remember Backstreet Boys. I remember NSYNC. I remember Britney Spears.
Yeah, you were about that time frame. 98 Degrees was another boy band at that time.
Yeah, I never heard of them.
That's a terrifying thing.
Yeah, that was where Nick Lachey got famous. The guy who married Jessica Simpson.
Mm.
And then they had the show where she didn't know whether chicken of the sea was tuna or actually fish chicken. Because she's an idiot. But is it chicken or tuna? Oh my god.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bitcast. It's December 7th, 2018, and this is episode 48 of the podcast. Guys, thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure to be here, sire.
It is a wonderful Friday evening once again, and we are short a TJ because dog. Poor dog. Dog could not hold
Poor
bladder.
TJ.
Poor TJ. Poor mattress. Woof.
Yeah, normally when something like that happens to a mattress, you get rid of it.
That's true. You don't want to try and fight that. Poor TJ. Just before the podcast started, his dog decided to relieve himself straight on the mattress instead of outside.
God, I wonder if it was Rocket or Biscuit.
Oh, it's got to be Rocket. You know it. If it's that big of an issue, if it's that big of a problem, it's the big dog.
Oh, I hope he had Liner.
Probably not.
Oh, TJ, no.
So, needless to say, TJ's on the furious side right now. So that's what's going on with TJ, and that's why he's not here tonight. So, oh well. Hopefully he will be. Hopefully we can have quite a few of the guys here next week for the Game of the Year podcast, where we will sit down and discuss our Game of the Year.
Shoot, that's Friday too.
Yeah,
hold on.
It's coming up, man.
God,
next week. It is exactly 1 year, almost to the date, for when we did the last time we did Game of the Year podcast. So therefore, it's time to do Game of the Year. We will have a top 3 of our choices for Game of the Year.
I may have to miss that one.
Oh, snap. We'll talk.
It's either that or I have to miss D&D.
Snap. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, Grody.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. We'll figure that one out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will have Game of the Year podcast at some point, apparently, this year now. We will have our top 3, and then we will debate to find out what the top 3 of the channel is for the year. I look forward to the debates and everybody's love of Red Dead Redemption 2. So, not really, because we have a lot of people here who haven't played Red Dead 2 yet. So it'll be interesting. Anyway.
I want to play Red Dead so bad.
I don't think I've played any of the Game of the Year contenders.
Yeah, you have.
Odyssey?
Oh, Odyssey. Okay, yeah.
You've played Odyssey.
But I was all like, I didn't play God of War. I didn't play Red Dead. I didn't play Fortnite.
Fortnite is last year's game. You cannot sit there and give Fortnite Game of the Year joystick when it was released last year. And also, just for a sneak peek of my news article for this week, best ongoing game, bullshit. But we'll get to that later. How about we go ahead and just step into the podcast here and let's talk about what things have been going on, things we're doing. Let's talk about the business this week. And apparently I have just disappeared off camera and now I'm back because
welcome back.
Well, my GoPro went black for a second there. I don't know what the issue was, but now that I'm back, hooray. So let's talk about the business.
I was scared.
Who wants to take first on business? Because I've got huge business this week.
I'll go.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, not a whole lot. Work stuff. Video game stuff. I've been playing Odyssey. Played some Odyssey. Made some progress there. Still having tons of fun with that one. Cappy has consumed probably 75% of my streaming time with Mass Effect 2.
Hey.
Which I am absolutely 100% okay with.
The Med likes
every
Mass
time
Effect.
Yeah, dude. Like almost every day I would come home and I'd be like, do you want to play Mass Effect? She's like, yeah!
God, that sounds like Cappy.
So I'm all like, awesome. So we've made a lot of progress there. Played a little bit of WoW in my downtime. I took a day off of streaming yesterday and played a little WoW just for fun. And I'm almost completely caught up on campaign 2 of Critical Role.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
I think I'm on episode 36.
Nice.
Yeah, you're not far off. I totally fell asleep on the one last night.
I finished it just on my drive to the studio this afternoon.
Nice.
But I am going out of town all week next week for work, and I have a 8.5-hour drive to where I'm going. Ooh. And then I drive about 4 to 5 hours a day for 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then an 8.5-hour drive back again on Thursday.
That's a lot of Critical Role catch up there.
I anticipate being, if not completely caught up, within 2 or 3 episodes of being caught up.
Nice.
Dang.
We're gonna hit that.
But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The one thing I had I had started this most recent episode 36, and I was like, I'm not going to finish this episode. I might finish it this weekend, depending on what my schedule lines up to be, but I probably won't. But they kept talking for like the last 2 or 3 episodes that the next week's episode was going to be live in New York. And so I went and I paused my episode and watched the intro part for the Live in New York, where they introduce all the actors and stuff like that. So that was really cool. But I stopped right before they started doing the synopsis of what's recently been happening in the campaign, so I didn't get any spoilers.
Good, smart.
Every time they do a live show, they always dress up really cool, and I was all like, I want to see what they're dressed up as.
I know. Sam Riegel just blows it away with his outfits.
Always.
Dude, obviously I've only seen 2 live show intros now, because there's only 2 that I'm aware of in this campaign.
Yep.
But I hope I get to see some cool shit in campaign 1 when I start going back and watching those.
Oh,
there's some good ones.
His first one I watched, he was wearing that skin tight pink leotard with the lamp right over his junk.
Mm-hmm.
That was something special.
Mm-hmm.
He's toned down in this one, because this is the one where they're all dressed up like pirates.
Yeah.
And so he's just dressed up like a pirate, but
I can't.
But yeah, that's mainly my business.
I cannot wait until you catch up, because we need to have a full-on discussion for some of the stuff in the new series, for what you think's going on. What do you think some of the underlying things are? Because it's super good.
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to get better. It will only get better right now for you too. That's the best part. It's only going to get better right now.
I was really... No, I don't want to talk about it. we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off podcast. I don't want to say anything for people who haven't watched it and all that stuff, but it's really good. I like it.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you what, one of the things that I had thought about, and I'm just going to interrupt here because that's the way I am, interrupting Cal.
My business is done anyway, so you can just roll into yours if you want.
Okay.
Mine's terrible. Don't make me go last.
Pardon me. After we finished episode 2 of Attacking the Darkness, all I wanted to do was have a full-on discussion with everybody about the episode that we just finished airing, because it was so much fun. And after all, and I tell you, after the cameras and everything were off, and I was heading out after pulling files, I was talking to TJ, and I was like, TJ, maybe it'd be a great idea, if a little bit further along in the series for it, that we have group discussions afterwards. We're talking about how things have panned out in the campaigns.
Like Ox Machina, basically.
Kind of. Because it was kind of one of the things where I was just desperately wanting to talk to somebody And I was like, I can't really talk to anybody right now except for TJ. And of course, I talked to TJ, but
I got the title. It'll be A Talking in the Darkness.
a talking in the darkness
A talk in the darkness.
instead of attacking, talking.
Yeah.
Oh, you're stretching that pun there, man.
Boo.
I don't know. I think it might be a fun thing to do. So I don't know. I keep in the back of my mind.
Speaking of which, I keep forgetting, but I need to send you some DMs about an idea I've got.
Okay,
for my character.
Sounds like a plan.
I keep forgetting.
Backgrounds and secrets and stuff. Again, episode 2. Episode 1 just went live, and
Yes.
I do apologize about the audio issue on episode 1. Didn't sound like that in Vegas while I was rendering it out. It was a lot quieter, and then apparently Vegas wanted to jump the volume up. So
I've had that problem.
So I've gone back and toned it down, and it's good quality now. Everything's fine with episode 1 on YouTube. So if you've missed it, go watch it. You can see just how this campaign is going to go right from the start. It's great.
Thanks a lot.
Episode 2 will be coming out on December 19th, I believe. Yes, it is coming out December 19th. So look forward to episode 2, December 19th. And in other related news, for a while now, I've been dropping hints. Pardon me. About how I've been busy. Haven't been playing video games. Haven't been doing this. Haven't been doing that. Well, there was a good reason why.
Are you having a baby?
I am not having a baby.
He's having a baby!
You spread that kind of rumor, then problems really start. Then people start wondering. No,
Daniel's pregnant, guys. You should see him.
I have
It's
a
beautiful.
milkshake baby. It's Barks. No,
It's the best kind.
for a while now, I've been dating my current girlfriend. Over the weekend, which is exactly why you're going to notice that 48 and 47 podcast went up pretty close together, is because last Sunday I got engaged.
Woo!
So
Congrats.
thank you. This is the reason why my life has been so busy lately. Is there have been a lot of things going on behind the scenes, a lot of talks, a lot of discussions, and a lot of planning involved in making this happen. So I've been a busy guy. Now I'm going to be a really busy guy helping plan a wedding.
But hey, congrats anyway.
So that has been
Daniel, we hardly knew ye.
exactly. So that's been my life. That has been my life for a while now, as I have been busy. But hopefully soon I can start getting things and make my life a little bit easier with some of the stuff that we've been doing. But that has been my business for the past few months here, honestly, in trying to keep up and keep pace with life going from 90 to nothing. So, Cody, what's your business you've been up to?
Oh man, you know me, always the interesting life full of adventures and stories and awesomeness. And
He's lying.
Yes.
In school.
Yeah, school, honestly. Finals are next week. I've completed one final. I pretty much have another final project already done. I've got my math final, which I'm taking Tuesday. So pray for me, think of me, send me all the good vibes because I'm gonna need it.
You got
I think
this.
at this rate, unless I get a 0 on the test, I will probably still pass it.
You got it.
Like pass the class. So aside from that, I'm finishing up my internship this semester and getting ready to move back to my old job, which I happened to find out this week I most likely will not be going back to.
Well, that sucks.
Oh,
They do not have the budget to hire me back in the same position that I was in, but they still want me. So they're going to give me another student worker position. So I'll have a job, but it just won't be paying what it used to. But I'll basically be doing the same thing.
That sucks.
Yeah. But I need a job. I got to keep paying tuition. On the bright side, the IT department that I've been interning with might be having a position open up soon. And if it does, I'm going to try and apply for it again.
there you go.
Now, with some experience under my belt, I might be able to scrounge up a year or two's worth of experience to at least get into the interview process.
Sounds like a plan.
Aside from that, getting ready for Christmas and all the stuff that goes along with that, having to try and find gifts, which I hate. Just know I love you guys, but if I don't get you a gift, it's not because I hate you, it's because I have no money.
It's totally reverse, same thing. 100%.
Tis the season.
Yeah, 'tis the season for no money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, all that I would ever want is just to spend time with you guys, and I get to do that every week. So Merry Christmas. And I don't know if you can see it, but right there above my finger, the limited edition D&D books.
I saw like your 96 photos in your Discord channel. You took like 30 photos of each book.
Yep.
I was like, holy crap, dude, calm down.
I took pictures of the front and back of each book because it's new artwork and it's beautiful looking.
It's pretty sick.
And yes. And I am in love with them, and I can't wait to show them off because they're so pretty. And but I now actually own the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Monster Manual, so I've got stuff to reference now, and I'm very happy because now I don't necessarily have to open everything up in Adobe Acrobat Reader, which likes to freeze up on me every single time I use it.
D&D Beyond. Maybe we can get them as a sponsor one day.
One day. But yeah, aside from that, man, I don't think I'm really up to much. I've got so much like going on outside of life and like with VGBits and all that sort of stuff that I'm just like, my mind is gone. I haven't really played any games. I've been too busy studying, and I've been watching a lot of movies lately. Good Will Hunting is a good movie. Full Metal Alchemist live action was not a good movie.
Oh, I didn't watch that. I forgot. We even talked about that.
God, you had nothing to do this week, Daniel. How could you forget that one minuscule thing?
Yeah, you totally could have watched it Sunday.
Son of a bitch. As much driving as I did across Dallas and Fort Worth, I probably could have watched a couple of movies just because of how long I was in the truck.
Yeah. You know, I will say though, because of the D&D podcast that we're now doing, I have been able to get back into video editing, and I've missed it. I've missed being able to create stuff.
I am so thankful for that as well. I tell you what, that is one of the nice things. If people don't know, Cody's producing the D&D show. Being able to hand that over now, just like, here you go, it was wonderful. Because that was one less thing I was going to have to worry about and not getting up in time.
I'll be straight with you, Daniel. After the first 2 episodes, 0 and 1, I was like, man, is he ever going to send me this stuff to edit?
I had planned on it. I was going to hand off one, but there was just so much behind one that needed to be corrected and fixed. I was like, that's messed up. So let me hand him one that works well.
And until we get a good system for tracking that sort of thing down, I appreciate you taking that one on for me.
Yeah, that one was bad. I'm sorry, folks. We had call dropouts and all kinds of stuff, but nonetheless,
which should hopefully be fixed in the future.
The story goes on, and I can't wait for the next recording.
Yeah, man. I think that pretty much like brings it to a close for me. I really haven't been up to much else. I'll be doing, oh god, next week is going to be fun because So my sister's having a party on Saturday evening,
Okay.
and my girlfriend will be home from college, so she's going to come up Friday to stay and be there for the party and probably leave Sunday. Friday we've got the podcast. Saturday we've got D&D. Sunday I've got D&D. Also, it's finals week next week.
We may not have you for the podcast then, because we need you for D&D.
I will be there for D&D. I've made that priority, and you should hopefully possibly have me for the podcast as well.
Well, if you're not there for the podcast, we'll be all right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Don't stress yourself out.
Yeah.
Bring her with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll probably be like right there. You know, see her leg up on the wall again, you know. That's throwback to what, like episode 20 something? No. Yeah.
26. Because I think 25.
Yeah.
I think 25 was We're Back, if I'm not mistaken. A dinosaur story.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Anyway. Well, all right. Well, that's been our personal business for this week. I guess we can go ahead and move on to, oh my God, the news. Boy, howdy, was there some news over this week. If you've been living under a rock or getting engaged, you have missed the 2018 Game Awards and all the things that came with it. Lots and lots of news. So, gentlemen, who do we want to start with for the news? Because my entire news is going to be just complaining about the Game Awards.
All right, so Matt will start, then it'll be Daniel, and I'll go.
All right, Matt, go for it.
Mine's really quick. I only have one news.
All right, what is your
I figured somebody was going to cover the big stuff. Did you play any old school first-person shooters back in 1997, 98, 99?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you ever play a game on the Build engine, which is the same engine of Duke Nukem 3D, called Blood?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever played it.
It is a horror first-person shooter based around cultists and demon worship and Satan. Like it's not satanic per se. It's not like worshiping satanic symbolism or anything, but that was the whole story behind it. It was like you killed. Yeah, you seen pictures?
Yeah.
There is a group, Atari has the rights to the game, and they've partnered with a studio called Night Dive, which is going to be making a remastered version of the original 1997 first-person shooter Blood.
Dope.
They said, let's see, what do they say here specifically about Blood? Players jump into the boots of an undead gunslinger Caleb as he seeks revenge against the dark god Chernobog. It uses devastating and gore-filled effects.
Right up my alley.
You fight cultists, zombies, gargoyles, hellhounds, unholy priests, and other terrors. So they've decided to remaster it, and they've basically said that the only thing they're doing to the game is making the game work on modern hardware and with modern software interfaces. So the graphics and everything are basically going to stay all the same, and the gameplay is all going to be the same and everything. They're just making it so that it works with modern sound cards. It'll work with the Steam interface for multiplayer.
Ooh.
So it's gonna be pretty slick. I skipped a lot of school to play this game with some friends because we had a computer lab at the school where we could go down, and I would skip my classes and go to the computer lab and play this with some of my friends.
Awesome.
This is my question. Was there actually a demand for this?
Oh yeah, this was a very popular game at the time. At the time, it was very genre defining. Like Duke Nukem 3 came out, and Duke Nukem 3 was good, and this game was built on the same engine as Duke Nukem 3D, but like took it to much higher levels for graphic design. There were actual like in-game cutscenes in the engine. It was really, really well done. It was never like wildly popular in the aspect of, making millions and millions of dollars, but it had a huge following online because it was one of those games that you could pick up at like you could pick up at fucking the used bookstore on a floppy disk for like $2. So why did you ask if there's a big demand for this? Because of the Satan imagery and stuff that's in it?
No, I just figured that if they were going to go the whole route of kind of bringing it up, even if they were going to use the same kind of engine, I figured they would have tried to at least maybe do some smoothing on the graphics instead of just leaving it as is and saying, "Here you go."
Well, yeah. See, for me, looking back at this, there's a lot of games that I would love to go back and play, but I can't because they don't work on modern hardware or with modern software interfaces like audio drivers and whatnot. And it's not necessarily that I'm looking for a graphical upgrade of the game. I just want to play the original. And so I see a situation like this, and I'm like, I like this. This is really nice.
Well, that's fair enough.
I can totally. Now they did have a sequel to this game that was released like 5 years later that had a huge increase in graphic quality because then you had like 3D rendering and stuff like that available at the time. And it was good too, but they changed a lot of the control systems, so a lot of the dedicated fans kind of lost interest in it. But
I just want to.
I'm definitely.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm definitely going to pick it up when it comes out on Steam because I loved this game.
I just figured they would have kind of gave it the original Monkey Island series, like when they released it on Steam, where you had that dual mode where you could sit there and go, okay, here's the original game. Now here's some updated graphics and some audio files to go with it for, actual voiceover. And they had got the original voice actors that they had for Curse of Monkey Island, and I figured that they would give it that level of brush up. But I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. Any time that we can actually keep games from disappearing into the ether is always a positive thing. I am all for bringing back games. In fact, there is, oh my goodness, who is it that runs the? They run an initiative to archive as many games as possible. I can't remember.
Are you talking about GOG?
No. Well, not GOG, but boy, I can't remember.
I think we broke Daniel.
Yeah, I've gone flat. There's a company out there that's all they do is they're nonprofit and they recover old hardware and they recover old games and then they back up those games into modern hardware and to have them available for people to actually. Okay. It's like a museum more or less. It's out on the West Coast. I just can't remember what it's called. The guy is always on Giant Bomb's podcast talking about it, and I am all for that. I want to make sure none of these games disappear and go through the cracks because, again, some of these older games or some of these smaller games, that might be somebody's childhood that just disappears. Maybe they didn't get an opportunity to play these big games that everybody else plays. You never know. So
this is a similar situation. Just that they're gonna charge you for it.
Well, yeah,
like because they're not trying to change the game. They're just trying to make sure it works in modern equipment.
Which, like I said, I am perfectly fine with. If they have the ability to bring it back and put it back alive and say, here you go, it works. Everything's like it was within. Cool. Let's go. I would love to play Hexen again. I was a big fan.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Hexen. So.
Is it a guy named Jason Scott at the Internet Archive? I tried Googling it, and that's what I first came up with. Someone who's, I guess, cataloging all these games and making them available to play via browser emulation.
I don't know if it was Jason Scott. I just can't remember. I'll have to go. I'll find it. I'll dig it up at some point, and we'll talk about it again sometime in the future. Whatever. This guy is doing great work, and I hope and continue that he continues to do what he does. Nonetheless. Okay, Matt. So, Blood. Any other news?
That's all the news I really had. I know there's a lot from the thing that happened the other day.
Oh yeah, the 20.
I figured you'd cover it or something.
Well, mostly I want to talk about is how the all the awards and the categories that they had put out for the awards. There are a number of things that were announced in the Game Awards that was rather interesting. There's a new Far Cry game that's coming. It was announced. There is a new Fallout game, or, well, I say Fallout game. It's called The Outer Worlds, and it is Fallout-esque. Actually, it's made by Obsidian, and boy, Obsidian sure had a jab at Bethesda in that trailer.
Really?
Did you not see that, Cody?
No.
Like halfway through the trailer, they go, the original creators of Fallout,
Yeah,
and the developers of Fallout New Vegas, which is widely known in the gaming community to be one of the best Fallout games.
Boy, they just kind of took that finger and jabbed it into their side, like, yeah.
What do you bet they added that in, like, just maybe a week ago? They were like, hey, we got this trailer ready to go, and all the Fallout 76 stuff happened. They're like, you know what? Let's put a little jab in there. Like, fuck you guys.
By the way, I saw some that y'all had posted some of the stuff about Fallout 76 and the canvas bag stuff. Cody, were you going to talk about that?
Talk about Fallout 76?
Yeah.
No, I had two other things I was going to talk about.
Okay. I was going to say they are going to rectify their canvas bag issue. Ooh.
Well, on a side note with that, they decided that they were going to rectify that. So they asked the people who bought the collector's edition to open a ticket and just say, hey, I got the collector's edition and a nylon bag. I'd like to get the new canvas bag, please. And then to prove their purchase, they had to provide their email address, their order number, and the credit card that it was purchased on. And then Bethesda just ended up giving everyone who opened a ticket full ticket access to all open tickets. So everyone could see everyone else's open tickets. And in addition, that ended up leaking their credit card information to anybody who went and looking.
Oh boy.
So,
Yikes.
Way to fuck up your correction on your original fuck up. Classic Bethesda. Great job.
Woo! Oh my goodness. So they announced a couple of other things. If we don't go over it, I'll maybe mention it at the end. But I want to talk about the awards, specifically for they gave Game of the Year. The award, their nominees were Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Monster Hunter World came out this year?
Yes, it did.
Wow, it's been a long year.
I want to say it was January, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was January, and then it came out in PC in June. I want to say.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was like
that's right. It did have a
4
very
months later.
delayed PC release.
Yeah. Which all their nominations, perfect. I can't really see a
Fine.
fault in any of theirs. Props to Celeste for making it into the top. I need to really try and play Celeste. So it looks like I've looked at it. It looks like an incredibly difficult game. But then again, I've seen some of these guys do speed runs in Celeste. It blows my mind. But God of War took Game of the Year, which I don't know if I agree with.
I haven't played it yet, but I could see how it could win it if they did it right.
Right. I mean, it was, from what I understood and what I've seen, it's a really great game. But I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult to pick between that entire list right there.
Your inner Spider-Man lover is coming out, isn't it?
Well, not necessarily Spider-Man. Look, I love Spider-Man. I love the game, okay? The game is fantastic. But there's also Assassin's Creed Odyssey that's in there. And then there's Red Dead Redemption 2. That's a hard list to pick one game being Game of the Year. This was a great year for games.
Yeah.
They put in a best ongoing game award, which the only reason why they put the best ongoing game award is in there is so they could give it to Fortnite. Because of all
Did
the
it
kiddies.
not exist last year?
Best ongoing game? No.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a category last year. They put it in there
Give it
because
to World
of
of Warcraft. Give it to RuneScape. I mean, have you guys seen RuneScape lately?
Nope.
It's basically turned into World of Warcraft.
They have Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Siege and Overwatch already are better than Fortnite.
Yeah.
See, this is my issue, is they put that in there so they could give it to Epic and Fortnite, because even in the past, earlier this year, Joystick gave Fortnite Game of the Year, which is retarded. It's dumb. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It came out last year. Can't get Game of the Year. So they just made best ongoing game. Frustrating. I was mad about that. I hate Fortnite.
Yeah.
I hate Fortnite. I hate Fortnite. It is not.
So I went to Walmart today. I had to pick up a few things. Took my mom there.
You bought a copy of Fortnite, didn't you?
Yes, I bought a copy of the free-to-play game Fortnite.
Ugh, sell out.
No, I was at Walmart and I had to go back to the electronics section, and right across from all the video games, they had a cardboard stand of the Battle Bus.
Oh, God.
And it was stocked with all sorts of memorabilia from Fortnite. And my mom saw a llama piñata looking thing sitting on one of the shelves and was like, oh, my niece would love this. My niece would love this. She didn't say that, but she basically said, yeah. Anyway. And she was like, but wait, what's Fortnite? And I turned and I was like, how do I explain Fortnite?
It's the video game version of cancer.
Yeah, I basically told her it's a very popular free-to-play video game that got a large following of young children because it was free to play and cartoony looking. And she was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, and harbors a very bad reputation among most gamers because the community became very toxic very quickly, mainly because of those young children. And she was like, "Oh, should I not get this for her?" I was like, "No, I'm sure it's fine. It's just a piñata. It doesn't mean anything."
Yep. If you ever want to hear any 10 to 13-year-olds claim to have sex with your mother, Fortnite's the place to be.
Like Xbox Live all over again.
Yeah, no kidding. Uno! No, I'm sorry. So I hate Fortnite. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Some of the other games, some of the other awards that they had available: Best Game Direction, it went to God of War. Best Narrative. Here's where it gets interesting, in my opinion. Best Narrative, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best Score Music, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best Audio
Sure.
Design, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best Performance, Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a lot of Red Dead Redemption that's winning these pretty much their categories, but Game of the Year went to God of War.
Huh.
I find that really interesting.
I look at it this way, because when I watch things like the Oscars, if you apply this to the same categories as the Oscars, you can have one movie win music and art direction and costume design and sound effects and things like that, and then just not win Best Picture. And that's I wouldn't say that's a super common occurrence, but it's not unheard of. And people don't look at that and go, what? When it happens in the Oscars. So when I saw that, I had the same mindset you did, Daniel, initially. I was all like, why would Red Dead get all these particular awards for all these subgenres and then not win the upper echelon award? And then I went, well, I started applying that logic to the Oscars, and I went, okay, if it was the Oscars, I wouldn't be that shocked. I would be all like, huh, that's interesting.
I'm just super curious at what Red Dead missed out on to miss Game of the Year versus God of War. That's where I'm I know it's what people what people make of it. So, but
Did God of War come out on PC?
No, I don't think so. PlayStation only. It's
It's
PS4 only. So I kind of wonder, I was like, where did Red Dead miss to miss Game of the Year? Because that's huge. That's kind of a huge knock against Rockstar, for Rockstar not taking a Game of the Year. Especially when last time when GTA 5 was launched, I believe it took Game of the Year. I'd have to
Probably everywhere.
I'd have to look it up, but I believe it did take it. But
the only thing I can initially think of is, technically speaking, Westerns are currently a niche genre.
true.
And with Red Dead being a Western, it would theoretically put it into a niche genre, whereas God of War being fantasy is relatively open to pretty much everybody. Most people are accepting of fantasy. Most people are accepting of science fiction. But when you get to something like Westerns, there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to go, oh, it's a Western? Not interested.
Just a little too real for them.
Yeah, I don't like cowboys and Indians. You know, that kind of thing.
Western's always been one of my favorite settings. That's why I loved Red Dead when it came out, the first one. Oh, that game. I played so much of that game. But to digress, back to the list right quick. Congrats to Celeste for Games for Impact for that category. And Best Independent Game, which it went up against Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger. So,
If I had to guess, I'd say Dead Cells won.
no, Best Independent Game, Celeste won. But
What is Celeste? I know that I saw Skid playing it a few times, but I've never actually looked into the game.
it's an action platformer where you are trying not to touch certain sections of a wall, and you're trying to scale a mountain. Imagine Super Meat Boy, but not. It's very similar in that vein.
It's Super Meat Boy-esque.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Best action game went to Dead Cells. Congratulations to Dead Cells. They beat out Mega Man 11, Far Cry 5, Destiny 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Dead Cells is a fantastic game.
Honestly, I think the only game out of all of those that would have given it a run for its money would have been Black Ops.
Probably so.
But I don't think it was out long enough for people to really care. I think Dead Cells was a great game, a good enough game to definitely have the following it deserved to earn that, especially because Black Ops is just another Call of Duty game.
That's all it is every year after year after year. Here's your another
Yeah.
shooter.
So you might as well give it to a game that really deserves it, like Dead Cells.
Best role-playing game went to Monster Hunter World.
Hey, that's a pretty good game.
Best
What were contenders?
Dragon Quest 11, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, and Pillars of Eternity 2 Dead Fire. That is some very stiff competition for that.
Yeah, that was a good lineup.
No kidding. We have had a beautiful year of games. Specifically, I mean, like Octopath Traveler. How do you not have Octopath Traveler as a potential in your top of game of the year?
Never even heard of it.
That's because you don't own a Switch.
This is also true. Although I will say, when Animal Crossing comes out, I'm getting a Switch.
I cannot wait for Animal Crossing. I am so stoked to play it for 1 year and never play it again.
Sorry, when I said that, I got Cappy's attention really big.
Someone else is a
Animal
huge
Crossing?
Animal Crossing fan.
Yeah, she sits over there. Usually when I'm streaming, she's playing either... What's the Animal Crossing you play?
Happy Home Designer.
Well, what's the New Leaf?
New Leaf.
Or Happy Home Designer?
I was a very big New Leaf player for a long time. I have not played New Leaf in quite a while, though. So, I am very much looking forward to it to come out onto the Switch. Just because I want to relive it, mostly like my days when I played it back on the GameCube. That was so much fun back in the day. Let's see. Best fighting game went to Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Kind of not a surprise there. It was huge. Plus the
What about Soul Calibur? Was Soul Calibur on the list?
Soul Calibur 6 was on the list, just like as well as Street Fighter 5 and then Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. All of those not so stiff competition, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the only one that probably would have given it competition was Soul Calibur, just because I know that's got a huge following.
It does.
But I don't know how the game performed.
It's okay, honestly. It for me, when I played it, I was like, really didn't feel like it didn't feel as good as the old Soul Calibur did. But then again, I was playing on a controller, and I really need a joystick to be playing Soul Calibur.
I don't know why, but for some reason, to me, the game looked more Tekken than it did Soul Calibur.
True.
Like, I obviously, I haven't played it, and I haven't played a Soul Calibur since 2? Was 2 the one on GameCube that had Link in it?
3, I think?
Maybe that was 3. That was the last Soul Calibur I played. But that game definitely did not feel like a Tekken.
Let's see. No, it was 2. You're correct. Link was in Soul Calibur 2.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. Best multiplayer game? Fortnite.
Really?
Yeah.
What were its contenders?
Sea of Thieves, Monster Hunter World, Destiny 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Okay. With that lineup, I can kind of see why it won Best Multiplayer Game. Only because, one, Sea of Thieves, I haven't played it since the summer, I guess.
True.
And they've made a lot of improvements, none of which I've actually checked out, but not that great of a multiplayer game.
Yeah, they from what I've heard, it has gotten leaps and bounds better now.
I'll have to hop back in
check it
sometime
out.
soon to play it. Black Ops, again, another Call of Duty game. I mean, multiplayer is going to be the same as anything. Destiny 2, huge following, but a lot of people hate it compared to the first, or a lot of people really love it, but it just seems hit or miss.
Destiny's always seemed to be a wildly polarizing game.
Well,
the people who play it either are obsessively in love with it or think it's utter garbage but still play it.
True. It has
weird.
It has the best shooting mechanics, honestly, in my opinion, for any game out there. The shooting mechanics are just heads and shoulders above everything.
That's Bungie for you.
I know.
I mean, Halo.
But they just don't put enough into their game. The content is so weak and so limited, it hurts them.
Yeah.
So,
I think they focus too much on making sure the visuals look fucking sick.
True.
And then the story and all that stuff just kind of goes to the wayside. They're like, whatever. There's a story there, but it doesn't. It's just shoot shit.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I'm fine with shooting stuff, but you know.
That's fair because I mean I play games like Serious Sam where literally the rule number 1 in Serious Sam is if it moves, kill it.
Yeah.
And that's about the extent of the game. But these games aren't marketed like Halo and Destiny are marketed that they have really good in-depth storylines, even though it's a multiplayer online game. And then you get in there and you're just like, well, I finished the storyline in 15 minutes and now it just wants me to play multiplayer the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And honestly, I got tired of open world or instance world MMO multiplayer games like Borderlands after Borderlands 1. And they just keep coming out with them. They had Borderlands 2, the space version of Borderlands, and then Destiny. And I don't remember what that one was.
I will be honest. I played Borderlands 2 with a couple of friends from my Discord server and my Twitch group.
I was one of them.
Were you? Yeah. Okay. I played that, and we played it for like 2.5 hours, and I had fun while I was playing it. But at the end, I was just kind of like, when we were done, I was just kind of like, do I want to play that again? I'd rather play something else.
Yeah.
You know, it was entertaining, but I could play this instead.
Yeah. And anything past Halo Reach, in my opinion, was downhill.
That one wasn't.
Because if I remember right, Reach was made by both Bungie and 343, because that was basically Bungie's like divergence from the Halo franchise and 343 taking over it. And then everything past that, which was 4 and 5, was all 343.
Correct.
And big thumbs down from this Halo fan.
Some of the last categories here. Where'd it go? Best debut indie game went to The Messenger, which looks pretty cool. I was kind of sad that the little puzzle game Donut County didn't get it, because that was a really fun game.
Oh, that's such a cute name.
If you've not seen Donut County, imagine Katamari Damacy, except instead of trying to roll stuff and gather it up into a giant ball, you're trying to drop stuff down a hole in the ground that gets bigger as you eat more stuff.
Ah.
Super fun.
It's like a reverse Katamari.
Yeah, super fun. You can beat it in about 4 hours. Really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It was probably one of the most fun games I played this year.
That sounds adorable.
And then best family game went to Overcooked 2. So congrats to Overcooked 2. You beat out Super Mario Party, Starlink, Battle for Atlas, Nintendo Labo, and Mario Tennis Aces.
Honestly, I don't think Mario Party should ever win that ever again. Like, I'm not saying that as in a negative thing to Nintendo or anything. I appreciate the hard work they put into their games, but Mario Party is easily the fastest way to start fights with your friends.
Like Monopoly.
The weirdest, I have no idea how they factor in their scoring systems, because you can come in last place in every single game and still win. And I'm just like, this is the dumbest scoring system I've ever seen in a board game video game. I'm just like, this is. I played the first one, not the first one, the second one a few times, and I was just like, I can't fucking play this game. I'm gonna kill my friends.
So I'm bringing my Nintendo 64 to PAX with Mario Party 2.
Well, that was kind of
You
back
guys,
before.
you guys have fun with that.
That was Mario Party 2 was back before they did all the hand holding stars and stuff to even it out. It was a little harder core back then. I have not had an opportunity to play the new Super Mario Party though. I have heard that it is better than Mario Party 10 for what they did for the hand holding in that game, but you never know.
This is why I liked that one that was on the original Xbox. Fusion Frenzy.
Or Fusion Frenzy. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Because that game was brutal. If you messed up, man, you were just dead last. And it was just like, wait until the round restarts at the beginning again. Because you ain't got no chance now. That game was fun.
Pardon me.
Sounds like we've got some future arena contenders.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Fusion Frenzy? Hell yeah, dude.
Dude,
I would play the hell out of Fusion Frenzy.
I have an original Xbox. Just saying.
So do I. And a 360.
Do you guys still have the giant controllers?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you have them with the small ones?
I've got the Duke.
I've got the original, and I think I have a Mad Cat.
That's what it's called.
Really? The big original one? Because when I played Xbox, I got the original huge controller, and then they re-released the controller in a smaller version, and I actually had a harder time playing on the smaller one than I did the big one.
I grew up playing on the, I don't know if it was the smaller one, but it was just one of the original Xbox controllers. And then my brother also bought a Mad Cat controller, which was larger than that.
That thing's enormous. I love those things.
I could not play Halo on that one. I had such a hard time. So anytime I had friends come over, it was like, you get the Mad Cat.
Well, yeah, of course. And Mad Cats always went to your friends that came over.
Yep.
Because you're all like, there's like a 35% chance that this is going to lose connection halfway through the game. You're going to play this.
Yes.
We wonder why.
Absolutely.
And we ever wonder why Mad Cats went out of business. Not really.
I was, when they filed for bankruptcy, I was not shocked in the slightest. They were all like, Mad Cats files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
It's about time.
Yeah.
That 35% finally hit the company.
Not surprised.
Afterglow, I think, is going to come next.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Now, Logitech made some sick Xbox controllers.
Really?
Yeah. Their Xbox controllers were on fleek. That's right. I said it. Shut up.
If it wouldn't mess up the recording, I would leave the call right now.
See, that's why you just turn your camera off, and then it doesn't have. Then you just turn. Okay, well that works.
There's a button in Discord to hide your camera. Dingus.
Anyway, that's all the news that I have. It was all about the awards. I hate Fortnite. Okay, Cody.
I'm with you on that.
Yes. So I have two games that I am very excited for.
Ooh.
Well, one's a game, one's a mod.
Woo!
That's fair.
So the first one I'm going to touch on is a mod. A while back, there was a free version of Halo called Halo Online that was being released by some people in Russia. And basically, this base game got attacked harshly, as it should have, by Microsoft because it was basically stolen property.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving away, like, I think it was called MS-23, which was like the base run, like the core of what the game would run on, and then you would download the mod and it would update it and you'd be able to play with all of its assets off of that. So Microsoft shut that down, but the mod itself has come back. So if people are able to get their hands on this MS-23, operating system, or ISO for lack of a better term, they can then download the mod and actually play online on player-hosted servers in games based in Halo 3. Some of them look to be kind of based around Halo 2 and Halo Reach and some of those assets. Like maybe they just pulled in assets. Because back in, early 2000s, I used to play Halo 1. And there was a custom edition that was basically just a giant mod for the game. And they were bringing in like the battle rifle and all sorts of other guns from Halo 2, thanks to the Halo 2 Vista version. So they've managed to do that with some of the guns in the mod is what it looks like. But as someone who has played Halo for a long time, and Matt's just staring like deadpan at me right now. As someone who's played Halo...
I never played any of the Halo games. Well, I played the first one and I didn't really like it.
Yeah, the first one was okay. It wasn't that good gameplay wise, in my opinion. But I'm very excited to see the potential of playing Halo on a PC with mouse and keyboard, because that was great with controller, and I'd love to try it with mouse and keyboard.
El Dorito.
Yes.
Holy smoke! Here it is. You can download it right here.
Yeah, like I said, they don't have a download anywhere for the MS-23 file, but supposedly you're able to find that by other means on the internet. You tech-savvy lot, you.
Anybody who has Google can find it. It's there. Yeah. I'm sure somebody is going to be like, hey, I've got it right here.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Man. Crazy.
So personally, if I were able to somehow get the game working, I would probably play it a whole lot.
Oh, yeah. I loved playing Halo 3.
Yes. I would get all my friends to play it. I would play it again.
The infection, I guess it was the zombies mode, was my favorite. Mm-hmm. Absolutely favorite. Shotguns versus swords. Mm-hmm. It's all I did in Halo 3.
I played a lot of Infection, and I played a lot of SWAT. Mm-hmm. Those were my game types.
Oh, I love it.
I hated playing Lone Wolf, which was the free-for-all, and I greatly disliked playing any type of team game, because inevitably the team that you got stuck with was garbage.
That's true.
You had one person who would always betray you for the sniper, one person who would always betray you for the Banshee, one person who would always betray you for the Spartan laser.
I hated that. Honestly, I hated that so much. You start running for the sniper rifle. What do? They kill you. You're like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
Yep. Every single time.
Every time. You are 100% correct on that. Why don't you people just grow up, damn it? Use the battle rifle.
Yeah, oh, God, the battle rifle. I love it.
Dude, I cross-mapped a headshot with the battle rifle.
I got a triple kill with the battle rifle with one shot.
There's awesome things about the battle rifle. Nonetheless, what is your second game you're excited about?
So the second game I'm very excited about is a new game that is being released and created by the devs of Ark Survival Evolved. And it is a game called Atlas. They claim the game as the ultimate survival MMO of unprecedented scale with over 40,000 plus simultaneous players in the same world. And it's based in a fantasy... I don't know what era you would really call it, but basically pirate era, a fantasy pirate era. And it looks like it's going to revolve around pirate ships and fantasy towns. And you can do stuff on land, and based off of like the videos and the screenshots, there's like giant whales or megalodons in the sea. There are hydras, or what looks to be a 4 or 5 headed dragon, ogres, flame elementals, like all sorts of crazy things that you can fight, as well as it being fully PvP. So then there's also other people that you fight. On top of all that, you start... I don't know how the survival aspect is going to work. And I think that's going to be my biggest hang up in the game, is because any survival game that you play, games like Ark or Rust or any of those, take forever to progress. Mm-hmm. Forever.
Unless you pay money.
Well, there's no paying money in these. It's just forever. It takes a long time to progress in survival games because you're constantly having to go out and collect resources and then turn those resources into other resources and then turn those resources into items. and then you die and lose it all and have to start all over. That's always been the downfall of playing any type of online survival game, because you have people who just like to PvP and grief and kill you and steal all your stuff, and suddenly your 30 hours of hard work, your awesome base, gets demolished the second you log off because someone decides to walk up and, you know, blow it up with all the C4 they stole from someone else, and now you're SOL. So
I am kind of excited about this though. I want to see how this is going to work.
me too, especially because they look like they're going to have a large focus on ship-to-ship combat, and it's not like Sea of Thieves where you get a what do they call it? A sloop?
Yeah.
Where you get a sloop or a galleon. This is where, like, you can start off with like a sloop or a schooner or some type of small boat, and then you can build a new one, and you can get a bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one, and they're supposed to be customizable. So in some of the screenshots you see like 2 sailed ships, and then other ones you see like 5 or 6 sailed ships. And I tell you what, if I get the game and I'm able to build a ship the way I want it, the first thing I'm going to try and build is the Juggernaut from the Warcraft series. Matt, you know what the Juggernaut is, yeah?
It doesn't ring a bell. Is it Alliance?
No, it's Horde. The Juggernaut is like a big Horde ship that okay, south of Elwyn Forest. Is it no, it's not Dark Shore. It's next to the Darkwood Forest on the coast, inner coast. There's a mine instance there. It's like Dark something mines, I think. Come on, Matt, you should know this.
Dead Mines?
Dead Mines. Yeah, Dead Mines.
That's
in the Dead Mines.
In the Dead Mines. Well, the problem is the Dead Mines dungeon is inside an Alliance zone, so most Horde players never played that dungeon.
That's fair.
At least not back in vanilla.
Oh, I did it all the time. I love that place.
In addition, apparently there were some in oh, is that the ship you fight on at the very end?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Apparently there are also some in Draenor.
Was it? I think it was called the Juggernaut. Maybe it was the Dreadnought. Let me try Dreadnought. No? Juggernaut ship. Yeah, well, yeah, similar. Here we go. This is one of... Yeah, I know you guys can't see this, but I'm trying to give Matt a good reference. So the ship itself is basically a giant oval with a bunch of metal plating covering the entire hull, and then it's got a huge cannon facing forward, 2 at the like northeast and northwest angles, and then cannons all along the sides for broadside, and then cannons in the rear for if anyone comes up behind you. Basically, it's just a giant gun.
It's a floating gun.
Yes.
Nice.
And in Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, the Juggernaut was an incredible ship, and that would basically be the first thing I would try to make in this game, is to get a ship that I would just be able to fire from all angles. But one of the cool things about this game, at least according to what information they have, it releases, I believe, on the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
You are supposed to be able to get on a ship with friends and hire AI to use parts of the ship. So that way, if you have a big ship and you need guns manned, you can hire AI to do it. But then you, as a captain, could then delegate certain parts of that ship to lieutenants, which would be your friends. So then they have control over those specific parts of the ship. That looks a lot different than it used to. But yeah, I guess that's it.
That's how they look inside WoW. At least the modern, more modern versions that are they're not sail based, they're steam powered.
Ah, okay. And here's one from Warcraft 3. But But yeah, so that was one of the cool things that I liked about the game is, or that I can speculate liking about the game is that you could basically go in alone and hire a bunch of people out of town, and these AI are supposed to be able to function highly for you and not just be stupid. So theoretically, they would be able to be just as good as having a full crew of players.
And in some situations, much better than players.
Very well could be.
Because let's be honest, not all players are really good.
Not all players are cut from the same cloth. Well,
but yeah,
I am excited as well. I hope it turns out to be a really good, because I would love a good pirate MMO, honestly.
Yeah. When I actually saw this appear on Twitter just randomly, I forget who tweeted out, and I saw it and I was like, well, this looks like a pirate game. Click, let's look at it. Because it said, from the developers of Ark, and I was like, well, Ark was a pretty fun game. Like, they had a lot of really cool things in Ark. It sucked when it came to a survival game, but if you started your own server and cranked up all the settings to where you got 100,000 metal every time you hit a piece of rock, you were good to go.
Let me build all the things.
Tame all the dinosaurs. Yeah. So I clicked on it and was like, holy crap, there is a lot of aspirations for this game. And there are towns that you'll be able to go to, interacting with NPCs, starting bar fights, basically think like Red Dead or GTA, but pirates is kind of how I'm interpreting it right now. And, you kind of make your own way. They even make a nod to collecting rare and exotic creatures across the world and basically becoming a virtual Noah's Ark and selling them and making money. As just something you could do. So, and they do start off with level capped starter zones to ensure that there apparently isn't some griefing, but
I'll look forward to it to see. Check it out next week, hopefully.
Me too.
All right. Well, any other news?
No, that pretty much ends my tirade.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the news this week, and we're going to move on to the next segment, which is our email segment. And no, I did not do a full email on that one. There's a reason why. I'm still trying to recover on the I'm still trying to recover my voice. So I am going to bypass it this week. We did not receive any emails this week, mainly because 47 hasn't been uploaded yet because I have not edited it
no!
Yet.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
fair point.
Because, life, and it finds a way. So, last week we talked about the question was, who would you like for a genie in the new live action Aladdin? It's still moving forward. We will still want to hear about your genie. So please tell us your genies. This week, what is your game of the year? Let's find out from everybody else out there what their game of the year is. Because next week we're going into deliberations. So tell us what you want to hear as game of the year. And we will listen, and then we will read it. You can send your emails to bitcast@vgbits.com, bitcast@vgbits.com, and I will read them, because TJ never
And then we'll
reads them.
make fun of your choice.
Yes, we will.
They said Fortnite.
That would cause a lot of rage on my part.
You realize they're all just going to say Fortnite now, right?
Yes, I do.
I will be so angry. There will
This
not
is part of the reason I said it.
rage uncontrollably.
Oh, yes.
But outside of that, guys, I guess that's going to go ahead and do it for the podcast this week. It was nice, short, and sweet, but sometimes it's always good because next week will probably end up being long, as we will have arguments and deliberations, and we will make fun of each other's choices.
We'll be mentally drained.
Yeah, true. Because Christmas.
I'm gonna team up with Curtis against the rest of you guys.
For Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
I can't wait until the deliberations start.
I'm gonna go on a 30-minute tirade about how awful the side quests are.
Looking forward to it. So that'll do it for this week's Bitcast. This has been episode 48, and it is December 7th, 2018. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this week on the Bitcast. And everybody else, we will see you next time on the Bitcast. Good night, everyone.
Take care.